Okay, here we go. Picks from JOES. Let's get our streaming up here. Let's get that up. And there we go. That's in. Now let's share. Oh no, go live. There we go. All right, let's share this. Do that. Da, 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 da. All right, let's mute that. Okay. And there we are. I think we have gone live. So there we are. Picks from JOES. Week 3 in the books. Pretty fascinating week, actually. Some things we expected to happen. Definitely a couple things we didn't expect to happen. And I changed my mind about the OSU Tulsa outcome and what that means. So let's talk about the other Big 12 stuff here. So I'm just gonna rip through the games real quick. Let me silence that because we really don't need to listen to all that nonsense. So let's go here and let's get our ESPN up and take a look. Should of course had it ready to go when we started this, but was dithering around with the streaming stuff. So all right, so first off, what the hell, Kansas? What was that? I mean, how bad is BC? Number one. But number two, how about that 2001-2002 Oklahoma State offense redo? Because that's what Kansas is running, sports fans. That was if you took pictures of, or took an image of the Kansas quarterback under center and went back and looked at like 2001, 2002 Oklahoma State, it looks just like Josh Fields under center. So, hey, kudos to Kansas. They went up to BC, a little bit of a slow start, and then just wore down and ran over BC. So what a way for them to end that road Power 5 losing streak. Although, ACC, lower end ACC teams, Power 5, I don't know. K-State goes down to Mississippi State. Now, okay, Mississippi State's not all that, but it is SEC. They've got SEC athletes. And K-State grounded out. Now, they gave up 350 yards. All right, their defense did. So, against a Mississippi State offense, which is not all that dynamic. So, I think there's hope there for Oklahoma State. But, their offense looked physical, and they got it done. They grounded out. So a great win for the Wildcats. It makes me feel really not so as comfortable. Well, I say not as I wasn't necessarily feeling comfortable, but it makes me a lot less comfortable for the upcoming trip to Stillwater for the K-State game here at the end of September. West Virginia. What was that? How bad is NC State? I mean, West Virginia. What did they do there? Did they have were there some turnovers? Or was NC State just bad? Where's the team stats? There we go. No, West Virginia threw an interception. West Virginia lost the turnover battle. So NC State's bad. Come on, they got to be bad. And West Virginia maybe figured some stuff out, tweaked a couple of things. You never know. It happens. To me, the biggest changes happen from week 2 to week 3. You figure stuff out over the first couple of weeks. Now you're getting ready to gear up for conference play. Week 3, you got to have your crap together. And Kansas, K-State, and West Virginia had their crap together. TCU goes up to Purdue. Purdue, not very good, but TCU's defense looked tough. Offense got it done. Again, Purdue didn't strike me as anything terrific. But, if TCU can figure out some offense, that defense, if TCU can score 34 points in Big 12 play, they're going to beat some folks because that defense is going to shut some people down. Maybe hold them to 28, they score 34, and you win. Oklahoma took the foot off the gas really quick, like real quick against UCLA. UCLA is just terrible. If OU wanted to, I think they could have scored 60 or 70 points in that game. Jalen Hurts continues to look pretty good. Texas, they should have beat Rice. What do you know from that? The usual. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the week. Texas Tech laying a complete egg in Arizona. Some of that you could, it's tough to go west. But come on, Texas Tech. That was not good. After the way they started the first 2 weeks against, again, not playing anybody yet. This is our first Power 5 game. Not a good result right there because Arizona didn't all that either. And there you go. There's the Big 12's first blemish to loss to the Pac-12 comes via Texas Tech for 2019. Iowa State. Oh my God, what a nightmare of a game. All right. So for any of you that didn't watch it happen, so Iowa State gets a chance, down a point, decent drive. Okay, they're going along, but then they stall out, and they go for it on 4th and 13, and blatant pass interference, and that holding call was bullshit. Lo and behold, you get offensive holding, and the penalty's offset. No first down for Iowa State, and then they throw an incomplete pass on the replay and on the down replay, and then we'll talk about what happened next. But that offensive holding call was garbage. That was garbage call. Iowa State got screwed, but then Iowa cooperated perfectly, right? Iowa State's only got 2 timeouts, so they obviously, Iowa doesn't do anything. First, second down, they're not trying to do anything. Iowa State burns their timeouts. At that point, I'm just trying to just kill as much clock as I can. So you go out and you run another third down, a handoff, whatever it is, and just let as much of the clock run as you can. Then you're going to punt. Iowa inexplicably runs a rollout, a QB rollout, and he ends up throwing the pass, completing it near the sideline where the guy gets tackled out of bounds and stops the clock. That was the stupidest thing ever, right? So you had a horrible pass interference penalty negated by a completely garbage offensive holding call, right? Then you have Iowa turn around and run the most idiotic third down play when you're trying to run the clock out, okay? And so now they have to punt with well over a minute left. So Iowa State's got a chance, and all they need is a field goal, right? It's not like they got to score a touchdown. All they need is a field goal. and one of the downfield blockers runs into the punt returner, and the ball hits the blocker, and Iowa recovers, and that's the end of that. That was, without question, the most. I almost went. That was about to be something that was not going to end up on Cowboys Ride for Free. That was absolutely ridiculous, and all the weather delays. What a weird. I mean, everything was weird about that game. The offense has struggled. I mean, just, of course, which is fantastic. Meaning we'll go up there and play Iowa State, and Purdy's going to run all over the place and complete everything he looks at, and they're going to look like $1 million. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. How do they manage to look like that every year against Iowa? I can't figure that out. So now we turn to Oklahoma State Tulsa. So my initial reaction to that game was not great, right? I think a lot of people agree with that. They played sloppy. You lose the turnover battle. Spencer Sanders, 1 interception and 1 fumble. Although you could give Chuba a little hassle for that. Maybe he held a little tight to the ball on that. But honest to goodness, I came out of that game, even though Oklahoma State covered the spread late. I came out of that game, just like, oh, God, no, please. But I went back, I watched most of the game again. And I'll say this. Yes, the defense got pushed around. OSU's offense went a little stagnant. All right. It was compounded by the 2 turnovers. Or I don't remember. There was the interception happened in the first half. Was the fumble in the first half? I can't remember if the fumble was in the first half. Here, let's see. I can tell. Play by play. Interception. Oh, no, the fumble was in the second half. Interception in the first half. Offense went a little stale, and Tulsa figured out a little bit of offensive rhythm and started gouging the defense. And I'll talk a little bit about this more in a minute, but the defense was definitely gassed. And there was the drive where they went down and I think took the lead. It was either the Tulsa touchdown. It was either the one where they came within a score or they actually took the lead, where the defense wasn't even set. I mean, these guys practice against tempo. Are you kidding me? Defense wasn't even set. Now, that I don't care that we've got a lot of key people out in the front 7. Okay? That's just, come on, guys. You practice against tempo. So yeah, there was a stretch of that game where things were not great, but then, they came out, and I mean the defense, whatever they said to them at halftime, and that little adjustment they made, you talk about straightening some shit out, boy. Tulsa, they pitch a shutout against Tulsa. Now, Tulsa got down, they get down there a couple times. I think they got down, no, they got down real close once. But after that, I mean, they really never gave OSU too much trouble. How about Gundy being the man and calling the blitz on that 4th and goal? Right? That to me is kind of an interesting thing, and I guarantee you, Gundy Gundy came in at half, I'll bet he had some choice words. I'll bet he had some choice words for the defense. Um, but that was an impressive second half from the defense. Did what they had to do, pressured the QB. Um, Offense was still kind of okay, whatever. But I don't know what it was. I mean, they had some explosive plays, and I thought Gundy made some really, really fascinating comments about how Tulsa's defense. I mean, Gundy said Tulsa's defense is decent, that they're going to have a good year on the defensive side of the ball. And I didn't think him saying they held Michigan to however many points was a big whoop, because Michigan's offense sucks. But Tulsa's D held up against, a physical Big Ten football team that's had success in the past. And, for Gundy to say that, I thought was interesting. And, of course, they were, as he said, they were playing a high-risk defense. Pretty interesting. This is actually one of those deals where you really do pick your poison against Oklahoma State's offense. And I think the poison I would pick is I would pick Spencer Sanders trying to throw it all day to Tylan Wallace. Because if you decide you're going to cover Tylan, other people are going to catch the ball, and Chuba Hubbard is going to run all over the field. Now, granted, that's kind of what Tulsa did. They stacked the box and said, Tyler, you want to beat us? You're going to beat our man-to-man press coverage. Well, 4 pass interference penalties later, 5 catches, 118 yards later, and Chuba Hubbard busting huge runs. That offensive line. I mean, I was having a conversation with my work colleague, who I've mentioned a number of times, Dalton. As you can tell, I'm on the road for work up in Springfield, Massachusetts this week. Having a conversation on the way up here, and he was busting on me because I was obviously dogging OSU during the game on Twitter, as a lot of people were. And he says, you were wrong. They weren't that bad, and with as much as bad as they were, we still covered, and okay, fine. And then I watched it back. I was like, you know what? I'll agree with you to some extent. And that offensive line, that the blocking that's going on and what you see out of the offensive line, that is so quintessential the last 10 years at K-State, okay? The line blocking is designed for 3 to 5 yards and a cloud of dust is what that is. If you have L.D. Brown running the ball or Spencer Sanders taking it up in the middle of the pile, then you've just got a lot of 3 to 5 yard gains, right? Because, look, the holes, I know they said they opened holes, but it's not like you were driving Mack trucks through those holes, okay? Those were creases. Well, when you've got somebody like Chuba Hubbard, who dances and just dances and kind of skips along sideways there until he sees that crease. And when he sees the crease, 2 or 3 steps and he's at football speed. He's at his full football speed, not his last gear, okay, not his high gear, but he's at football speed within 2 or 3 steps, and he's hitting that crease. That's where you get big plays. Normally, I mean, you got a QB running up in the crease. You got a kind of a run-of-the-mill running back, an L.D. Brown running up in the crease. But you've got Chuba Hubbard running into that crease. Well, especially if you're playing defense like TU was, there's nobody past that little second level of defender. You get past the linebacker, there ain't nobody there. Because everybody else is up or out, right? And Oof, man, is he's still got enough, even if he's taking a beating, and as they alluded to after the broadcast, he starts to lose a little step there. Excuse me, because of the wear and tear of the season. Dude is still fast enough to do a lot of damage. So how about that? You got the leading rusher and leading receiver, yardage wise, in the country right now. Um, and that was not a good game from Spencer Sanders at all. You could tell he was frustrated. You could tell he wants to do other stuff, right? Now Gundy said, well, it's, you can't do that stuff because of the defense they're giving you. And while sometimes I agree with that, sometimes you got to say, look, we're better than you, and even if you're trying to stop us, we're just going to do this. So, the things that I'm concerned about offensively, I think everybody's concerned about it. Number one, where is the passing in the middle of the field? I mean, the only passes that have gone over the middle of the field have been deep shots. They had one that went to a Cowboy back, but that was pretty deep. That was a pretty deep throw. All right, that was 20 plus yards down the field. You're not seeing much in the way of little slants, quick slants. So that's kind of concerning to me, because right now everything is to the outside. Everything is outside. The other thing is interesting is Sanders, when he throws it outside, dude throws it on a rope, man. He throws darts. Sometimes maybe a little high, but he's throwing darts. When he throws it downfield, he always seems to come in a little bit short. A little underthrown. And I'm wondering if that's just a fear of, it's not trusting his receivers to run under the ball, right? He's got plenty of arm. Come on. He's got plenty of arm to throw it down there. The other thing that is just a massive concern, massive, I think more of a concern than the passing game situation, that's the backup running back. I mean, Dave Hunziker talked about it in the postgame. You have got to find somebody to take, I would say, about, what would you say, 8 to 10 carries off of Chuba a game, at least. More, 8 to 10 more carries off of Chuba. That dude can be carrying it 25, 30 times a game in Big 12 play. No, that's just stupid. And then, I mean, you got, that's just stupid. I mean, LD Brown, I don't know what's going on, but that dude's vision has gone. I mean, he is not seeing the crease. He's dancing when he should go. He's a downhill runner. We're quit looking for home runs, and your job is to get in there and pound away on people. And he has not looked good. I don't know. They got to find somebody productive to bleed some of those carries off of Chuba. He's not. I just don't know that he'll last the whole season. But those are my two big concerns as they head into this week. I mean, huge game at Texas. You're not jerking around with this Big 12 opener. This is, oof, I don't know. I'm going to reserve comment till we get closer to the game. I'll reserve my opinion till later in the week. We'll see. A couple of questions on the front of the defense too. Where's Bundage? Where's Antwine? Gundy alluded to some kind of administrative issue. What is that? Some issue with his transfer? I don't know. Something's up there. Bundage, obviously, they're dealing with the back, but I mean, who knows? But the young guys on the line, It was good to see them come back in the second half and play tough, play hard. God bless Malcolm Rodriguez, played with a little bit of a stinger, most of that game. But even when he was out, Kevin Henry came in and he got after it. So, if you could get a couple more guys like healthy and back in it, the defense starts to get itself back in the right, kind of, second half Tulsa defense, right? That would work. So that's it. Some shockers in Big 12 play, some not shockers. Texas coming up this week. Huge game. Saturday night, prime time. Oh, God, please don't lay an egg. I'll talk about that later this week. Everybody have a safe work week, and we'll talk to you Wednesday or Thursday. Go Pokes.